I'm gonna get a little controversial now, though. All good. So I'm the electronic guy
Yeah.
in the whole picture over here, but I'm also a guy who grew up in a typical Cape Flats colored household, and good, classic R&B disco
Yeah.
was being played in my home. The one thing I've been able to do over this last couple of like decades of my life and stuff is being able to call a hit,
Okay.
regardless of what scene it's in, because ultimately my roots is hip hop. That's my voice. That's where I came from. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But by the same token, I've had the blessing to be exposed to music a couple generations before me. I know what good songwriting is.
Yeah.
I know what musicianship is. I know what's quality. And then also being one of the first few guys in the city to start making electronic music, never mind the country actually. I got a handle on what it takes to try and get your track to be on a quality point of view to a certain point. Now, the first time I heard Elephant Shoes, I thought, nice song, production's not that great. Okay.
Okay.
But the song was really good. And that kind of like trumped everything. It was a really well written song,
Yeah. Yeah.
well composed. The guy was singing his heart out, and it made you feel some sort of way. So,
Yeah.
that being said, it's great. The other thing which I noticed, because I'm not directly in line with like sort of, I wasn't in contact with radio and any of the commercial stuff, and I don't cater to that space either for that matter, was the packaging. Jimmy Nevis's packaging. They invested money in that guy. I mean, Black Vulcanite, great, whatever. I didn't even hear of. I mean, I just happened to know the guys from Rudel Records
Yeah.
because I built them like a machine when they started out the studio.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I know them, and I met a couple of the artists along the way, and I know who he is, but I never bothered to listen to his music. But when Jimmy came out, they was the first time I noticed that they plugged in a lot of money in how they presented and branded Jimmy.
That's a major thing that you just pointed out. Artist development. That's what it comes down to. They actually took some time to develop him as an with I don't know any of them personally. I've had conversations, and we didn't really go deep into like what the plans were, when he was starting out. So from the outside it just seems like a lot of development went in. So you don't know who all had the ideas. Was it Rudy? Was it Lauren? Was it Jimmy himself? So but whoever came up with a plan, it obviously worked. But like you said, again, we spoke earlier about quality of mixer. There's a lot of mix engineers and producers that I've spoken to that say, yeah, that song could have been mixed and mastered better, but
It did not matter.
It didn't need
it
it.
didn't
Yeah.
need it. People overlook that because the song itself
It
was
was
good.
just great. It was
Yeah.
a great song. I mean, like, I'll give him props. I mean, the guy can perform, can sing. The song
Yeah.
was really well written.
Yeah.
I mean, was it as fat? Did it have enough bass? I don't care.
Yeah.
The song was just good
Exactly.
in that respect. But coming back to the playlisting issue, for me, I still find that the playlisting on radio stations in this city, the regional playlisting, is very much askew. And the main reason is because the people who are deciding or making decisions at this radio station are completely disconnected from what's actually happening in reality out there. Back in the day when I started DJing and I was working at places like DJ Syndicate, it was like sort of, I wasn't working at DJ Syndicate, I was just a club goer at the time, the 90s, and then obviously the early 2000s was kind of more my period. And what I noticed was that especially with the electronic stuff, the dance stuff, the DJs were dictating what was going to be the hit. You know what I mean? The hits. And obviously the radio jock or the radio disc jockey, or what do we call them now? The presenter?
Well, yeah, presenters, because like obviously the word DJ I think was like misused because disc jockey, you were actually somebody who could mix,
Well,
But-
actually,
but-
not. A disc jockey would be the guy who literally just played the music.
Okay, yeah.
But what I noticed was back then you would have a radio presenter on air, and he would decide what's going to get played. But now
Yeah.
we all know that's kind of like
Yeah,
there's
the-
a formula. Every minute counts.
Yeah, exactly. So everything is like set out. You literally, as a presenter, come to work. You show up. The only thing you really prepped was the content that you deliver in between songs. Other than that, your playlist is set out for you. You do get like we used to get emailed our playlist ahead of time in case you want to incorporate like that into your content. But other than that, it's decided for you ahead of time.
So doesn't that make for like a pretty monotonous sounding like radio play for the day?
It can, but again, it comes down to um, if each DJ playlisted the music that they wanted to play in their show, then the radio station has no control, and that's the thing. They need to have control over that because again, comes back to listeners, retaining listeners, money, blah 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 blah.
What do you think, Ms. Mullen?
Gee, I don't know. Look, I listen to many radio stations. Of my favorites is not Good Hope FM at the moment because I don't know. I just find I get tired of listening to the same type of music. I mean, I can understand that it's probably the market that they're appealing to, but
Youth market, right?
Yeah, it's supposed to be. They've actually aimed it younger. There came a time, like a few years after I started at Good Hope, when new management came into play, and they decided we only going to play. I'm still saying we. I'm not working there anymore. But they decided they're going to play. The only time they're going to play 80s music is in a kinky Afro mix, and the 90s music they will say for Sundays, for a little old school. So everything in between, Monday to Saturday, would be 2000 until now.
well, you see, when I'm talking about playing the same sort of content or the content that they're playing, I'm not really talking about over time. I'm talking about
Within
current
the day,
music.
yeah.
Or like it's current music, but it's the same type of current music. I mean, there are so many other songs out there that are huge across the world, but you don't hear on Good Hope FM because all you're hearing is just the trap beats, the hip hop kind of
DJ Mustard.
pop kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like those sorts of
I
things.
mean, I guarantee you, if we pulled out a computer right now and I put out and I had a look at any given radio station's playlist right now, I would find a producer with at least 3 or 4, a top 10 producer,
Yeah.
probably with 3-4 tracks in the charts, which is unheard of.